Right there was the best fisherman I ever knew. That older gentleman right there, behind that good looking fella, was my daddy. Yep, Robert Cook. And that'd be my name too. That little kid there in front of him. So, you want to learn how to fish? Well, you come to the right place. YouTube. They say want to feed a man for a day, taking fishing. But if you want to feed a man for a lifetime, you teach him to fish. That's what they say. It makes sense. My daddy taught me to fish before I could even really remember. And it's fed me for a lifetime. So, I'm going to start out with basics of where do you start? Well, first thing usually people want to know, well, what kind of fishing rod do I need? Okay, equipment. And there's a lot of different equipment out there. There's expensive stuff, cheap stuff, basic stuff. If I was going to take somebody for the first time fishing, I would take them to a small farm pond and take them and do some brim fishing. Bluegill, shell cracker, red ear sunfish. It's basic and it's simple. How's it going? Good to see y'all. We're here in South Westfield. We giving lessons, fishing 101, general information. All right, we'll start out right here is a basic outfit. This is a 33, an old Zebco 33 from probably the early 80s, late 70s, mid 70s. And it's on about a 6-foot rod. It's got a basic rig on it here. You got a float, and there's different kinds of floats. I use those kind when I'm doing it. It just got a little spring there. Goes through the line, little groove, and you can slide it back and forth. Comes down here to a barrel swivel. And that reason for that is so it can spin, the leader can spin, and the rest of the line don't spin. A little split shot sinker right above it that you mash on place, power pliers, and a hook. That I have snailed. We'll get to that later. Smaller hook, about a number, whatever that is, number 2 maybe, number 2 or 4. Small enough for bluegill. Like I said, that's called a spin cast, thumb cast, spin cast. Basic, hit the thumb, throw, release the button, and off she goes. And these are really good reels. They're basic, but they're good. This one stood the test of time. It's missing a couple of parts on it, but nothing too far away from operable. There's a 202 that's basically the same thing. It's older than that other one, and it works like a charm. I've got several of these that I use to carry little great nieces and Hopefully my new little great nephew is a couple of years old. Later on I get to take him and start him off with something like that. You can go and get one of these. It's a spinning reel. They're easy to use. That is a what we'd call a 3000 series. Small enough, you would use it. It's got 6-pound test on this, and you use it for bluegill, and you can use this for bass. It's not an ultralight. It's a little bigger than an ultralight. You can get an ultralight if you want the panfish. It's fine. Use them for trout. I've got this on a 6.5 foot that I've actually done this one myself with thread work. I caught a 10-pound largemouth on this just the other day. Okay, these are fairly cheap. You can buy that rig right there, a similar rig, for 20-30 bucks at your local fishing store. This is called a Texas rig, and I'll show you. I don't know where the Texas part come from. I'm gonna guess somebody in Texas come up with it. I don't know. It's what I use when I'm using plastic worms for largemouth bass. And basically it's a sliding sinker. Sliding sinker. You see it'll slide all the way down. Okay. And then you got a rubber worm on the hook. It's hard to do this and hold it. But get the gist of it here. You hook this thing in. Like so. Not being cooperative. It's hard to do that holding the phone. So there it is. And it's weedless. When the fish bites and takes off with it, you let him roll and run till he's got it good, and then you rear back and cross his eyes. And it'll poke through that, and it'll hook him right in the lip. Rip a lip. But for, like I say, about 20 bucks, 30 bucks, you can get a decent little rig. That's a little more expensive there. I don't recommend going and spending a lot of money if you don't know you're gonna like it or not. This is a conventional bait caster, what they call a round bait caster. Abu Garcia, an older one. This is a 5500. Very good reel. If you take care of them, they'll last your life. Regular maintenance, cleaning. And this is sort of rigged up for, say, catfish, striper, any bait fish or baiting you want to do, steel fishing, or even trolling in a boat. Or even if you are throwing out and retrieving it, you can use this same rig. You have a sliding sinker, a glass bead, better known as a knot saver, more or less, so to speak. Both of them will slide. There. Your hook goes down here. There's your leader. This has got about a 18-inch leader. Time I tie the knot, there'll be about a foot leader. It can be laying on the bottom or whatever, and the fish can take off with it. and the line will go through this, and he won't feel the resistance on it. See that? Kind of like a bait saver rig, sort of is the same way for saltwater. I prefer saltwater fishing over freshwater. You can start out in saltwater. I did. Anybody can. It's just I prefer to start somebody off in the pond. It's just simpler and a little easier to grasp. I was talking about snelling a hook. I'm gonna try to set this here.